They made another Toy Story, and it's high time we reviewed it. This is Sides of Coins, and it starts right now. Good morning, evening, and afternoon, everybody. We are going to talk about the latest installment in the Toy Story saga. Got my Star Wars terminology even in Pixar movies. And today we've got Nick with us.
How's it going?
In the studio, and Angela's producing us today. And we're gonna go through this whole thing, talk about the first chunk. We're gonna try to keep it spoiler free. I know there's a lot of people that still haven't seen this, so we're gonna keep it spoiler free, and then a little bit later on we'll get into it and really dissect what we enjoyed and what we didn't, and get spoilery with it. So I'll start by saying this is a freaking awesome movie. I enjoyed it so much. Pixar just next to always hits it out of the park for me. They're very solid. Their narrative structure, the way they tell stories, the way they make you care about things you never thought you'd care about. And then technologically too, they just pushed it so far, and it just delivered. The performances were great. I really don't have much negative to say about this movie. I really, really enjoyed it. But what'd you think, Nick?
Pretty much same page. Entertaining, especially since it's supposed to be like a children's movie, but it still keeps you engaged, probably no matter what age you are.
Absolutely.
Always good to see Tom Hanks doing something.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's a delight, isn't he?
He's still doing stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. The cast was great. I mean, it was everybody that's in this had a lot of things to say. Everybody, they kept a lot of the legacy characters. They brought it up to the modern day. I mean, sadly, I know there's a lot of people that have passed. I know Don Rickles, who was Mr. Potato Head, passed a few years back, and so they used some clips of things that he had already recorded to put him in. He didn't have as big of a role as he had in previous installments, and I know they let R. Lee Ermey, he moved on in the last episode of Toy Story 3, but he had died too, so he couldn't have returned. But yeah, it was really, really cool. All the different characters they had. And Angela, what did you think of the film?
I loved it for many reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the animation was amazing, and I'm always a sucker for just focusing on that and forgetting to watch the movie. It was just focusing on the animation. But it was such a pretty movie, and it was so well done, and of course hearing all those classic voices that you heard when you were a kid watching the first, second, third ones.
Mm-hmm.
That was just so nostalgic, and seeing all the characters again. I thought it was a really good movie, very entertaining. It definitely kept with the rest of the movies in terms of movie quality, storyline. There's always that fear when you make a sequel or an extension of a series, if it's been too long, you fear it's going to ruin it for me, they're just trying too hard to hold on to something. But I really didn't get that with this at all. I thought it was really, really, really well done.
100% agree. And I think to keep it spoiler free for just a few more minutes, Toy Story 3 wrapped everything up really well. Toy Story 3 was a nice bookend. It seemed like, where could they possibly go from here, right? Damn, they took it a great place. It was good. I definitely recommend that if you're on the fence about it, go. Just see the movie. It was very fun. I enjoyed it a lot. I don't think anyone have any conflicting opinions with that. It's recommended by all of us, right? Go see the movie?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool. Well, so now we'll get into some spoilers about the things that we really liked or didn't, and get spoilery with it. So that's your spoiler warning. Leave, go watch the movie, and then come back and we'll talk about it. But you've been warned. Okay, so spoilers being off, the villains, the sort of the way it was shot with Gabby being the villainous sort of character. She wasn't really a villain, though. It was the cool part. It's just Pixar's so damn layered with their storytelling. It's just awesome. The misunderstood antagonist, I guess, is a good way to put it.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And she had the ventriloquist dummies that were with her. That was so cool. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the way this movie was shot.
Those
terrifying.
were creepy. Yeah.
Yeah, the antique shop was horrifying. I mean, for the kind of movie that this is and who the audience is, it was pretty creepy.
It gave some kids nightmares.
I imagine it would. Yeah. I mean, you had those shots where like they're coming behind a, this little doorway or little walkway, and he's walking through, and the big dummy's chasing after him with his mouth hanging open. It's just like zombie sort of walk. It was pretty intense. But I'm trying to think of other spoilers. I mean, really, the main thing that most people we should really talk about is Bo. She has so much to do in this film, and probably my favorite character. Just sort of see where we left her in Toy Story 2. She's always been just sort of like a bit character on the outside, and so to really put her in the spotlight was really cool.
Yeah, I liked it, especially tying it all together with the flashback in the beginning to when she actually left Andy's house.
Yeah,
I liked her skunk and her group of friends.
Yes, yeah. Well, the RC car was really really cool. That was awesome. I think it's neat too to see the story of purpose, right? And like what is your meaning after you've fulfilled your initial meaning, right? Like, so if you're, say, like retirement, or if you're on the fence about, life, you're going through some big change, right? Trying to find your purpose and all that. It was just really cool messages and valuing yourself, and it was awesome.
I found it surprisingly existential.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bo's all like, you don't need a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all Woody has known.
Yeah, just like throws his whole life worldview, tips it on its head, and I think he's a lot better for it at the end. It was awesome. All right, so let's talk about some of the extra characters on the side. Toy Story has always had just a brilliant amount of small characters and toys. Keanu Reeves is in this movie as the Canadian stunt biker, Duke Kaboom. He was awesome. I loved his character. Just sort of like similar to Buzz from the first one. Like doesn't
Similar.
meet up to the marketing, and he's feeling insecure because he's not as cool as he's advertised in his commercials. God, it was hilarious. All the Canada jokes and everything were just so funny.
I liked all his poses. Found it entertaining.
Very much so. It was awesome. That he was great. Seeing Key and Peele back together was just a delight. They're always so damn talented as Ducky and Bunny. They were great. It was very very funny.
I liked their introduction when they were just hanging up,
Oh,
and they're
yeah,
like,
for
"Oh,
sure.
oh, Buzz, you think you're gonna come in, and we're the top prize?" you know?
Right.
I like that.
And it was neat too. Pixar did such a great job of making you think about, oh shit, yeah, that's interesting. Like you buy the world of Toy Story, and then you're like, wow, carnival toys, that's got to be a really bad life. Like that's all they look forward to, and they never get to experience that. So that was really cool, getting to see their sort of struggle and the way they looked at things and how they got out and they were motivated to try to find a kid. It was awesome. I enjoyed it.
I think we need to talk about everybody's new favorite character, Forky.
Yes, absolutely. God, he was so funny. He was sort of the catalyst to everything. How Woody's trying to take care of Bonnie and trying to, make sure everything goes well for her. Trying to convince Forky, who believes that he's trash. He doesn't know what he's meant to be. I'm trash. And he's always trying to jump into the trash can, and Woody's always trying to protect him from that. Yeah, Forky was hilarious.
Yeah.
Tony Hale did a great job. It was so funny.
That montage of Woody trying to keep getting him back to where the little girl could have him.
Oh, it's gold.
Yeah. Oh,
So
brilliant.
funny.
That was funny. I think it was just so sweet because Woody was like, no, she has to have her toy for her school. She has to have like the same kind of toy that I was to Andy. I thought that was really, really sweet. And you can tell he's just like, he's sort of outgrown this whole thing too, in a way. Like he can't be the focus anymore, but he knows that just like a little spork is that for like, for Bonnie. And that was so, so sweet.
And he's trying to convince Forky, to like, he's trying to explain what Forky means to Bonnie in the same terms that he would understand. But then he finally got through to Forky. He was like, wait, so I'm Bonnie's trash? And then he was like, well, yeah. And she was like, oh, we got to get back to Bonnie.
That was brilliant on Woody's
That was
part.
so cute.
Oh, it was so great, man. God, this movie is just so layered, and there's so much to talk about. I'm trying to hit all the points. The soundtrack was amazing. Who writes these songs? It's escaping me. Randy Newman, right?
Randy Newman.
Yeah. The new song, Throwing Yourself Away, that they put in was wild through that montage.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, it's just
so
so good. Gosh. And then technologically speaking, the animation. I mean, we've already touched on it, but
Didn't they play You've Got a Friend in Me in the beginning?
I think they did, yeah. And
Was
then
it? Yeah.
they definitely
I love that.
referenced
Love it.
it through as well. But yeah, the animation in this was just incredible. Pixar always pushes the envelope, but like there's some scenes in here where you're just blown away by the textures of it all. So I saw it in Dolby Cinema, which is, just super bright and super crisp and clean anyway. But to see like there's a scene with the cat in the antique shop, I mean, it's photorealistic. Like it blows away the uncanny valley sort of thing. I mean, it's just like it's real sometimes. You just look at it and it's like, wow.
If you compare that to the cat in the first one,
Oh my God.
yeah, so much difference. It was. I've always been impressed by Pixar,
Of
but
course.
it seems like every time I'm more impressed. Like
For sure.
yeah, they set the standard to me. You know,
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
think-
Well, you're the artist. You're the animation expert.
So I
Let's
remember
talk about this.
watching like the original Toy Story when the first one. I don't know if I remember when it came out, but I remember watching it as a child, and then watching the second one when it came out,
Mm-hmm.
and thinking like nothing can beat these movies. They are the height of what they are. Like the amazing graphics and all that. But now I'm seeing like comparisons, like for instance, like Bo's sheep in the first one versus this one.
Yeah.
And how I thought that was like, it's like, oh, it's so amazing. But then I see what they can do now, and I'm like, what's it going to be like in 20 years? What
Oh,
are
yeah.
they going to be doing? Like VR, like just go to the movies and like put on a headset,
Yeah, it's incredible to see how far they've come. It's really, really impressive. There's so much to this movie. I mean, I definitely think this is worth buying the Blu-ray and watching a few times to pick out everything, because there's so many little Easter eggs, so many different toys and things. They had said, like, having to animate all this stuff. The animators put all kinds of little nods and Easter eggs in their content. I mean, it's just it's incredible. Yeah, I can't recommend this highly enough. It's such a great time. Really, really solid movie. I enjoyed it a lot.
did either of you see a Pizza Planet truck in there?
I'm trying to think. I know we saw some Pizza Planet merchandise and things like that, but I don't know if I caught it. I know, isn't it supposed to be there's a Pizza Planet logo or truck in every Pixar movie? What's the deal with the Pizza Planet thing? I know there's some Pixar
I'm
trivia.
not sure.
I think there's like a Pizza Planet logo in every Pixar film or something to that effect, but I didn't see the truck
I
this
know
time.
Pixar and Disney movies are constantly referencing other Pixar and Disney movies in their movie.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I
for
don't
sure.
know exactly if there's like a Pizza Planet thing that is in every movie or.
I know there has been at least one movie that wasn't Toy Story that the Pizza Planet truck was in. Can't
Yeah.
remember which one, but
Anyway, though, I'm sure people will tell us in the comments. They'll be like, it's in every one. Here's the screenshots. Send us the screenshots. We'd love to see that. That'd be really cool. But all in all, I mean, this is just it was awesome. To beat sequel fatigue so handedly, it was a real statement. I'm really excited now that this will be used as the counter argument to everybody saying, oh, well, they already wrapped it up. Don't do another one. We don't need another Indiana Jones. We don't need another Terminator. We don't need another, all these franchises that get rebooted and it's done badly. This will be the counter argument to that. And that's exciting. We get some new, fresh stories, new takes on things that are already established. So, yeah, it was really, really neat. Anybody have any final thoughts they want to talk about for this one?
I want more Forky. Like, I don't know if they're going to do Toy Story 5 or not, but I want more Forky. Give him his own movie.
Oh yeah.
That would be great.
I would like to see more of like Woody and Bo and like what crazy adventures they'll get up to next time. I feel
Absolutely.
like that'll be cool. It was really sad to see Woody and Buzz part ways because like that was the original story of them coming together and their friendship. So I thought that was that kind of broke my heart a little bit. And we didn't really see as much of Buzz in this
He has
movie.
a lot of
he had like a side story kind of
comic
thing,
relief
comic
sort of stuff, yeah.
He was like following his inner voice, so that was kind of
that was funny.
cute.
Yeah.
Like he was, like you said, more comedy than anything in this movie. But I guess they focused it on Bo a little bit more too, which I thought was awesome because I think she definitely deserves it. They did it really well, and they didn't really focus in on her too much in any of the other movies. I think she wasn't even in the last one.
No, she wasn't.
No.
She was mentioned as one of the toys that they had lost, right?
Yeah.
Like we've lost a lot of different friends over the years,
Yeah.
even Bo, and they give her like a moment, and
Mhm.
everybody was pretty upset about that, from what I understand. And so now they made her a focal point in the movie, so that was neat.
Yeah, and I know in the previous ones, like we've seen different characters' side stories, like wait, why can't I think of her name?
Give me something to latch
Cowgirl.
onto.
Jessie.
Oh, Jessie,
Sorry,
yeah.
I don't know why I couldn't remember her name.
She's the
We
sheriff
saw
now.
her,
That was great.
Yeah, we
That
saw
was such a
her
cool
like
moment.
flashback in like the second movie.
Yes.
We saw her whole storyline come together and all that. So I think it's cool we got to see Bo's, and even if that means we lost some other like of the main characters' stories, that's okay with me.
Yeah, it was neat to see. You talk about Buzz. I mean, that was such a neat moment, bringing it all full circle. Like his purpose now is helping these other toys find their kid, and that's, even though he was Andy's toy as well at the time, that's what he did for Buzz all the way in the very beginning.
Sure.
Like you're trying to show Buzz that he was a toy and all this, and help him embrace that life or his meaning.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really cool. And then their parting ways, I guess, or their farewell was really touching. To infinity and beyond. I mean, that was Buzz's line, but now it like sums up Woody's whole life now. Like he's already fulfilled his purpose. Now what?
Yeah, there were definitely tears.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. What a great movie. Highly recommended.
I thought it was cool when what was the doll's name?
Gabby.
Yeah.
Gabby.
I thought it was cool how they gave her a good ending, even though she was not the villain exactly, but just sort of the antagonist of the story.
Yeah.
Like how she tried to get her ending. You thought it was going to be her ending when she got her battery and she, like
there's
the
so
little girl
much to this
found
movie
her.
we're not even talking about. Like there's so much to talk about. We could do
right?
whole episodes on this. Yeah.
So I thought it was cool how she that wasn't her ending. Like she had her kid out there just waiting for her and all that, like the little lost girl. And I think I cried in that moment too. And like the little girl was like lost and she's like, I can't find my mom.
Yeah.
Like I think I teared up a little bit. I don't know. I was
Absolutely.
emotional
Yeah.
that day or something, but I think it was really, really sweet when she found Gabby, and it was adorable.
Yeah, and then Woody knew in that moment. He was like, "This is it." Like helping make that connection happen is why I'm here, and that's my new purpose. And doing that with Bo and having that sort of human connection, but having a partner in crime or somebody with you to do that, someone to share the rest of your life with. That was cool.
And I thought it was a little bit poetic how
Boetic.
So Bo was very much broken when Woody found her, and then he purposely took out his own voice box, gave it away.
Yeah.
So now he's sort of broken. He joined her in the with the lost toys and all that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I hadn't picked up on that. That's cool. That's a neat observation. I like that. That's really cool.
I feel like that was kind of the moment where he got past needing a kid.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It was he finally
I don't
realized
need my voice box anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let Gabby have it, so maybe she can have that feeling that I've had with Andy for years.
Absolutely. Yeah. No. This was an awesome movie. There was a lot to talk about, and I know we're not touching a lot of things that we really should. There's a lot to discuss here, but
how
God,
badass Bo was.
Yeah. No. I mean, there's so much. You can keep peeling the onion back, and you see so much more. But yeah, it was awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Thought it was a really good time. And would highly recommend for anybody that hasn't seen it. It's already been doing gangbusters at the box office, but if you're one of the 7 people that hasn't seen it, get in your car and go watch the movie. It was a great time, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Couldn't recommend it highly enough. There we go. There's my exit. This was a great movie, and sides of coins, guys. Comment, tell us what you thought, and we'll see you next time for another review. It can't all be perfect, boys. It's
Makes it more
live.
real.